Based on multiple conversations that I've had, it does seem like the most likely scenario is that Kelsey Plum would move on from the Aces. My basketball mind was still having a hard time wrapping my head around Kelsey leaving and going to an org like the Valkyrie. Remember, when the Las Vegas Aces were unbeatable, those days are gone. The once dominant dynasty is collapsing faster than a sandcastle at high tide, and it all begins with Kelsey Plum packing her bags. It's been a little surprising, and I think why there's so much conversation, at least from what I'm seeing, about Kelsey Plum is that during the season, when the rest of the core Aces, they're the core four, Asia, Chelsea, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum, so when her other three, counterparts face fine extensions, she did not. But wait, there's more. Asia Wilson is furious. Coach Becky Hammond is losing control, and the rest of the league is ready to pounce. You're about to witness the fall of an empire, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single moment. Are you ready? Let's go. Mention that she did not sign an extension, and former general manager Natalie Williams told me before she and the Aces parted ways that, Kelsey was offered an extension and declined. You know what's worse than losing a game? Losing your star player, and that's exactly what's happening to the Aces right now. Kelsey Plum, the sharpshooter who's been dominating the scoreboards, is eyeing the exit. But here's the thing, it's not just about basketball. There's something brewing in that locker room, and it's not team spirit. It comes to something like Kelsey, somebody like Kelsey Plum. She's coming off a difficult personal year, and she's emphasized that she wants to take time for herself, which is why she said that she pulled out of Unrivaled. So we're not necessarily in the position to, with respect to what she said, to ask her directly, and that would be the best indicator here. But of course, you mentioned my reporting, I can pull and cite a few quotes that kind of imply that, the same way that Sutta said that she's working with the Dallas organization. That's been the implication, that the Aces are working to find a situation where, quote unquote, everybody's happy, which is exactly what Becky Hammond said to me about a month ago in regards to Kelsey Plum's situation. When it comes to someone like Kelsey, she's coming off a tough personal year and has made it clear that she wants to take time for herself. That's why she pulled out of Unrivaled. So we're not really in a position to ask her directly, out of respect for her decision. But as you mentioned, my reporting suggests that the Aces are working to find a solution where, as Becky Hammond said to me about a month ago, everyone's happy. This ties into the idea that Kelsey is also exploring opportunities with the Dallas organization, which has been the implication. Also, I think she made the statement something along the lines, it's just not like we're not going to look the same that we've looked in the past, right? Which makes total sense, right? Again, as I just said, you kind of in your mind have this idea that teams are always going to look the way they look, and the reality is that's just not possible. Let's break it down. Plum's stats last year were on fire. 178 points per game and 42 assists. She's hitting 42 from the field and 368 from beyond the arc. On paper, she's every coach's dream. But in reality, it's more like a nightmare. Remember that heated exchange between Plum and Coach Hammond during the playoffs? Yeah. That wasn't a one-time thing. It was like watching a pressure cooker explode. Hammond was furious, calling out Plum's performance and the team's effort, and Plum, well, she wasn't exactly smiling and nodding. What I do think is interesting is that there is a team that will be coming to the league this year, the Golden State Valkyries. And a part of me just kind of feels that might be a fresh start for Kelsey Plum if she does decide that she wants to move on from the Aces. To me, it gives them an opportunity to have a great perimeter score, which we know that Kelsey Plum is, but it also will add a little bit of familiarity for her because the new head coach was the former assistant coach in Las Vegas. And I think that that could also be something that plays well when you're getting a new environment and you're getting a new experience, but you're also still working with someone who knows you and knows you well. So you get a bit of the best of both worlds. But wait, there's more in that playoff game against the New York Liberty. Plum scored just 6 points, hitting only 2 out of 9 shots. It's almost like she forgot how to play basketball overnight, or maybe, just maybe, there's more to this story. I definitely would not rule that out. Something that really stands out to me is that, Kelsey is a Southern California native, and San Francisco is, it's within the state. California is a large state, but it's still within the state, and I think that stands out. To me, that's like the most intriguing destination for Kelsey. I totally understand the fit you mentioned, like perimeter scoring for the Valkyries. They'll absolutely need that, but I think also she brings this, veteran championship mentality that Natalie Nakaze has emphasized that she wants to cultivate in the Golden State. And so, to me, that would just be knocking on the park. And they have the room to do it. They're just building their roster. Cap space is not going to be a problem. So that stands out to me, definitely. Now, let's talk about where Plum might be headed. The Golden State Valkyries are chomping at the bit, and they've got a cool $12 million in cap space to play with. They're not just looking for any player, they want a star to build their team around. And guess who fits that bill? She and Natalie were really close. I remember the first conversation I had with Natalie Nakaze. She was telling me that she spent the whole off-season doing Pilates with Kelsey Plum because Kelsey had roped her into it. And they were waking up at like 6 a.m. together to go to these Pilates sessions, and I remember telling Natalie, like, that is something I would never do. I could never, like, wake up that early, and she's like, well, you should consider. Kelsey has, like, changed my life by us doing this, and that's, like, a small thing. It doesn't really go into any reporting or anything. But their relationship seems to be really strong, and so, I wouldn't be surprised, but it gets even juicier. The Valkyries' head coach, Natalie Nakaze, was once an assistant with the Aces. That means she and Plum have good history, apparently. It's like a reunion tour just waiting to happen, actually. The context of the quote that the Becky Himmel had given me, where she said, like, Kelsey is very core to this organization. She's very important. And so, we're giving her space to figure out what she needs for herself, but we also want to make sure that we as an organization are in a good position now. You might be thinking, but what about the Aces? Surely they won't let her go that easily. Well, here's where it gets interesting. Plum didn't sign an extension with the team, and there are loud whispers about a potential sign-and-trade deal. The Valkyries are in the mix, but so are the Chicago Sky. It's like a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and Plum's holding the best seat. I just have a very hard time imagining the Las Vegas Aces without that core, for they were all drafted there. Right? I mean, they were all drafted there. Thanks for watching, and subscribe my channel.